After he won the Open, things changed a lot for him as far as the demands on his life and outside of tennis. And the expectations grew dramatically. And bullseye was on his back now. And he struggled for a while.
When you win that U.S. Open, people expect you to win the next major, and all of a sudden I was dealing with the word pressure, something I've never had to really deal with.
After losing to Jim Courier in the quarterfinals at the Open, Pete, shy and not particularly savvy with the press, expressed relief.
I'm not the reigning U.S. Open champion, and maybe I can kind of go back to my normal lifestyle. It's kind of the monkey's off my back just a little bit, so maybe I can really bear down and concentrate on having a good fall this year.
At a time when you're the defending champion, when you say that, people think you look happy to lose. And the reality is that I wasn't happy I lost. Jimmy Connors just got all over my ass about it.
Connors was exasperated that an athlete would admit that, because for Connors' mind, that's why you play. You play for the pressure. That's what it's all about.
And that comment just kind of stood with me for a while. I mean, for the next couple of years after that U.S. Open win, I was, still trying to figure out my place in the game.
After an up-and-down year that didn't meet his expectations, Pete split with Coach Joe Brandy and began to work with Tim Gullikson. The congenial Gullikson, a serve and volleying, blue-collar type player, along with twin brother Tom, had carved out an exceptional pro career and had most notably beaten John McEnroe at Wimbledon in 1979.
Tim had coached Martina Navratilova, Aaron Krickstein, had a very good record as a coach, and was one of the most liked people in my time on the ATP circuit. Everyone loved Gully.
We were great friends, played golf constantly, we played cards, go to dinner quite a bit.
When he and Pete connected, there was an instant chemistry there that I saw from the outside. I saw Pete really probably getting to a happier place than he'd been.
You can tell a lot about somebody from who they surround themselves with. So I think Pete surrounding himself with a person like Gully cut him a lot of margin in a personal sense, because people really loved Gully. I mean, they really did. He's just an easy guy to like. And as a result of that, he always left room that there was more to Pete than you realized.
Once Tim Gullikson started working with him, then they started chiseling away at his game. He stripped away all the flab from it, and it became this very precise, tightly honed instrument.
Pete always said, I'm going to go out there and play my game. And I think Gully was able to bring to him a little bit, yeah, play your game, but remember, this guy's forehand return's a little better than his backhand. So maybe on the big point, you could ace him to the backhand.
We practice harder. I wasn't a great practice player. I kind of go through the motions a little bit, and he goes, listen, instead of wasting your time for 2 hours, spend 1 hour and just bust your ass.
Everybody says he had this God-given talent. I don't buy into it. He was a hard work talent. Everything he did, he learned. He broke it down. He got better at it every time he went out on the court. And he would go months where he would just be completely intense about his physical stature and getting stronger and getting more flexible and getting faster and getting his stomach stronger than anybody else's. As a person who had to catch the medicine ball, when he was throwing it, he got better and better at it as time went on. I mean, year after year after year, he'd throw that medicine ball into my stomach, and it hurt.
Yes! In 1992, still just 21 years old, Pete hovered in the top 10, posting good results, and found himself in his second U.S. Open final in 3 years. His opponent, Swede Stefan Edberg.
I woke up that morning, and I wasn't nervous. I was content getting to the finals. I was like, it's been a great run here, and just felt fine, felt content. Felt like, this was good enough for me at this time. I didn't really play all that well. I don't want to say I gave up, but I didn't fight that hard. I just played. I didn't dig deep. I knew deep down that I kind of gave up. And I was this player that had all this talent and was right there with the Edbergs and the Beckers. But, my heart and my competitiveness wasn't great.
The one thing about losing at the French or losing at Wimbledon, you always had another slam not too far away. You lose at the Open, you have nothing, as far as slams are concerned until next January, the Australian Open. So that sits with you a little bit.
Something was missing, sort of that meanness, and that loss woke me up. And, you know, I promised myself if I get to that situation in a major final that I would never give up.